action.
And action! Welcome to another exciting episode of Cooking with Warren, and I'm Warren. This is proudly sponsored by Meg. She's my fishing pal. We're going trout fishing tomorrow. With any luck, we won't catch any trout because the trout really don't like to be caught. And
Released.
you can't blame them. Anywho, so this is a snapper. Snappers are a fish that live in the ocean. And this just came in today from our fish purveyor. And let's take a look at it and see what it is about the fish that makes us like it. So when you touch it, it's kind of firm to the touch. If you look inside, the gills are nice looking. That's like their oxygen transfer thing, like the alveoli inside our lungs. And the eyes look kind of nice too. And my purveyor guts them for me because when things go bad, they go bad from the inside out, which is kind of metaphoric for something. Excuse me. These are the tools we're going to use. And we've discussed this stuff before, and the truth is you don't really need these all, but don't tell Marianne. So this is my cool little brass fish scaler thing. In pocket. Huh? Okay. So this is my Debo, which is Kikuichi is the, stop it, is the company that makes it, but they're not sponsoring us, so we're not going to mention them. And this is my steel. And this is my boning knife that I'm afraid of because it's got this curve in it and I'm not used to it, so I generally cut myself with it. And this, thanks to David, is the most expensive pair of fish pliers in the world, and he guilted me into buying them, so I have them, and when I can't buy them, I lose my mind. So let's take a look and butcher our fish. Now, I've been doing this for a while. I grew up fishing with my grandfather. When I was 6 years old, we started going out on the Shirley L, and we go fishing for flounders and flukes and weak fish and all sorts of stuff. And we had a grand old time fishing, except for this one time that we went out into the ocean. So we went out on Reynolds Channel and we went out into the Atlantic Ocean and we went way too far. And this was before cell phones and all that kind of stuff. But we made it back because I'm here. So anywho, back to the show. And anything you're butchering has lines for you to follow with dotted lines. Chef Perlmeyer, when I went to Culinary Institute, taught us that, what is it, as long as you're cutting tendons and fat, chefy baby, you're on the right track or something like that. But he was really cool. And he taught us that everything really has dotted lines. So let's take a look at our fish and see what our dotted lines are. Oh, let's step back. There's two shapes of fish. This is called, oh, remember I said in one of our previous episodes about me saying, the truth is I say it a lot, so we're just gonna do it. This is a round fish, and it's called a round fish, even though it's not really round, because it kind of swims like this. You have flat fish, which swim on the bottom of the ocean like this, like flounder, fluke, that kind of thing. And they get butchered a different way, and we'll do that another episode, so make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna take our fish here, and we're gonna come up behind this fin. Oh, we should probably scale it first. So when I buy fish already scaled, because scales make a mess, but just you wanna make sure, because you don't want somebody eating scales by mistake, because it's not pleasant. And because of the type of fish it is, you can eat the skin on this. So we're gonna take our handy dandy brass fish scaler and gently scale our fish. And you can see those little scales kind of flying all over the place.
That doesn't make a mess at all.
Yeah, it does. You know, you gotta agree with me on these things, please. All these fans, we're almost at 100,000, by the by, and they want to see me being right, okay? That's why they're subscribing. So, we'll come up on this little armpit, and well, that was silly.
I apologize now, people. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's late. I'm kind of punchy. Well, okay, it's 1:30. But anywho, so let's
go back to shaving your fish.
Let's go shave our fish. Thanks, Meg. We're shaving our fish. And we'll do both sides. You see I have a piece of parchment paper down here so that I can kind of control the mess-ish. And we'll get all the scales off. When you cook fish with the skin on, when it cooks, you want to take a look at the skin to make sure that you really got all the scales off. In all fairness, sometimes you miss them, and you can tell.
So I have a question.
Easy one, please.
If you don't have one of those fancy brass fish scalers, what should you use?
I don't know because I have one. Okay? You can use the back of a knife. And the truth is it works fine, but the truth is I like toys, so I'm going back to my brass fish skillet. Just eat vegetables if you don't have one. I don't know, because these are fun.
I'm not denying the fun factor.
Well,
but
that's all that matters. I mean, it's not fun for the fish, in all fairness. Although I don't hear any complaints. My dad and I used to go down to the Keys every July, which is coming up, and it makes me really sad that we can't go there anymore because he's not with us anymore. And one of the things we would always do is go out fishing, and we'd catch gobs of fish, and we'd keep 2, and we'd go to, what was it called, L&M Fish House or something like that, and they would cook your fish for you. Or they said it was your fish. I don't know if it really was or not, but I don't know. And it was always kind of delicious, and we always had the best time going down, and I kind of miss doing that with my dad. You know, we'd start on one, and we'd drive all the way down to the Keys, and maybe see a key deer on the way, which is really cool if you could see one of those, and we always had a great time. That's sad. Anywho, so I like to do it this way, and if you like to do it a different way, then don't watch my video, okay, if you don't know how to do it. So what I do is let's wipe some of the scales off. So I'm going to pick up this little armpit there, or fish pit, and notice that the angle I'm cutting, I'm matching, see if you can get a little special effect in here. I'm matching the angle of this plate right here, because you don't want to lose any meat. You don't want this fish to have died for no reason at all. So that's our first cut. Our second cut is going to be down here, down by the tail fin, and it's called the tail fin because it's over by the tail. And we're going to make another cut down there to the bone. You don't want to cut through the bone because then you got a mess. And then, yeah, anyway. So when I was at culinary school, I took a fish class, which was a 3-week class on fish cookery. And I was walking down the hall. I was sent down to the store to get a salmon. So I was walking down carrying the salmon like this, you know, with my fingers through the gill, like you do when you're fishing. And the salmon shark, "What are you doing? You're gonna break its backbone." Which I said, "It's dead. It can't swim anyway." She had no sense of humor about it at all. That was one of the times I got in trouble with culinary school. So we're gonna start here in the middle, and I know you're supposed to begin in the beginning, which is a very good place to start, but we're gonna start right here in the middle, and using sort of the middle of this blade here, we're gonna gently cut in. And notice that this is a boning knife, it flexes a little bit. So we're flexing up against the backbone. See if we can get our camera in here. And we're pulling it up here with this hand, and we're coming right to where the vertebrae are, which is one side. And let's wipe our knife off for a minute. Then from here, working from the top, we're getting right over the backbone. And then from here, and we're flexing right into it, so we get right up against the bone, because we don't want to lose any of the meat from the fish. And then from here, we'll trim this up a little bit and make it look nice. I tend to cut this very tail section off right here. And the reason I do that is the fish kind of swim like this. Well, not this one, because, well, it's dead. But they kind of swim like this when they're not dead. So this is a really muscular part that they rip from. So it's a really much tougher piece of meat that I like to serve to my guests. And let's get rid of this now. I'm sorry, fish. You do the same on the other side, by the way. So let's just put it in here. And now we've got to make it look like something we want to feed people. So we're going to gently trim right back in here, because we don't want to eat that. We don't even know what it is. And we'll trim up here a little bit. And notice I'm kind of curving as I'm cutting into it. And then let's square this off up here, because it looks a little bit nicer. And now we're going to feel along here for these pin bones. The pin bones are connected to the
sewing machine?
Yeah. That's it. Action, and it's hard to explain, but just let's go with it. So we're going to trim our fish up. We're going to cut the square off, cut the tail off. Did I say before already that I don't like serving the tail part?
Yes.
Okay. So then we've got this tray here. We're going to trim this up. And if you notice that I'm kind of cutting my knife underneath, so we get this kind of beautiful, sexy looking fish fillet. We'll use the world's most expensive fish pliers to get these little bones out from up here, the pin bones, because you don't want anybody eating pin bones. Did we already say about the potato?
No.
Okay, so go ahead, say it.
No.
Okay. So, hey, Marianne, what happens if somebody eats a fish bone?
And it's stuck in their throat and they're choking
Yeah.
and they can't seem to get it out?
Yeah.
The old wives' tale is to eat a small piece of potato because some reason it will catch the bone and you can hack it up that way.
So, I guess if somebody's choking, you should quickly run to the YouTube and watch our potato video so that you know how to peel a potato. Anyway, so let's go back to
Wow.
to getting these little bones out here.
Don't distract Warren while he's plucking.
And there's a little blood spot there from the fish bouncing around. Let's make sure one more time we have scales in it. There we go. And what I like to do as well is you want to kind of score the skin of the fish to make sure that it doesn't curl up while you're cooking it, because then, you know, you're gonna serve somebody a piece of fish that kind of looks like this. I don't think so. So gently you're gonna kind of fold it under this way and make a couple little slits right through the skin. You don't want to cut through all the flesh, but just enough to mark our fish. And then we have it. There's a nice, beautiful piece of snapper for you to saute or broil or grill or wear like a hat. Peace out.